All right, Sunday, October 22nd here. We think the fuel system is worked out, okay? I'm gonna try to walk through this and tell you guys what happened, is what we think happened. Gotta get this shield back on up here. So what likely happened, and it can happen, we think the fuel cap got screwed on crooked. Okay, and what that allowed basically is for soybean dust to get sucked into the fuel. Okay, it happens. People forget to put them on and they don't even have the issues that we have. They just put the cap back on and keep going. Our luck though, it caused a headache for us, so we got dirty fuel basically. Okay, so then we're like, okay, switch the fuel water separator. There's another filter up in the engine. Worked for about 30 minutes to an hour, I think, for them. Went back out. Then they switched them one more time, and it didn't even go for 5 minutes after that. Okay. All right. So then they blew on it and sucked on the lines without an air compressor, though, just in the middle of the field. That didn't work. Okay. Fast forward to the next day, which was Friday. What we did. Okay. So this here is a line that goes up into the fuel tank, okay? You know, we'd take it off here. We took it apart here. We blew air. They said blow air back into your tank if it's plugged. Sometimes there was just flowing out of here like it's supposed to. Other times it would just drip to start with. So we knew it was plugged, you know, somewhere in this line or in the tank, okay? Well, then we got to thinking, okay, we started tracing this. We blew out this set connector, this line that goes up into the engine up top. I'll show you that where in a second. We let it run for about 30 seconds pumping fuel, and it had a bucket to catch it in the engine room. It was coming out. It kind of goes up into that right there. It was coming out pretty good. After about 30 seconds to a minute, it started surging. You could hear the pump, like the pump was having trouble. We were pretty sure that it was dirty fuel, or it wasn't getting fuel is why it was surging. But there's the new fuel pump, electric fuel pump. We put that on anyways. Did not solve the issue. Okay, so then we got up on top of the machine. We looked down in the tank, and we're like, oh boy. You know, I could see some stuff floating. So in the back of the machine right there's a plug. We pulled the plug, we drained the tank, we blew it out with air. The mechanics the next morning, they flushed it out with, they were either going to do it with new diesel or brake cleaner, I think he said. Flushed it back out. When I went and got that filter, I called back and I said, the only thing we haven't blown out is this housing area and this valve. We overlooked it because we took this apart right here, okay? We turned the key on and fuel absolutely sprayed out of there. Here's where we messed up. I believe this machine was plugged in 2 spots. I believe it was plugged, or it continually to plug itself up in the line up here somewhere in the tank. It was also plugged in this valve right here, this valve. The reason it was able to spurt fuel for about 30 seconds or so is we turned the key forward to let the machine prime itself. Even at a slow trickle, this filter was able to fill up. After that filter sucked up into the combine, this line was not able to produce enough fuel to keep this full. Therefore, it sputtered out. There was quite a bit of junk. I got a really dark picture sent to me. I might post it on my Facebook page, possibly. If you didn't know, I post a few pictures here and there on Facebook. It's the same thing, Bourne Farm 101. It was plugged, and they got that unplugged, cleaned out. The fuel tank is completely cleaned out. The filters have been changed like 3 times. And actually, this one here, if I take it out here, I don't know if you're not gonna be able to see it probably, but this one is so dirty. This is the first one that plugged on me when I was combining, and I'm like, something's going on here. That was the first one. The second one is this one. You can still see through it. It's not plugged, but it's got some stuff in it. And now that one shouldn't be that bad. So, we're 99% sure they ran it to full throttle and said they, quote, did stress testing, is what the mechanics told us. In theory, it should be just fine that the fuel tank's flushed out. No more dirty fuel is going to come through here, because what other thing could have been happening is this might not have been plugged, but stuff would have come down after we blew it out. Boom, more stuff come in. Because we did stick a wire into there and go around to shake up some of the stuff. So it might have been plugging itself periodically throughout the day, because all of a sudden a chunk would work itself through and go into the filter if there was enough pressure. But this was plugged, and it was definitely plugged. Let me get my light. It was definitely plugged up where it connects to the tank. Somewhere in the tank there was some junk floating. Just show you up here. Still got the machine here. We got rained out yesterday, so we'd like to try it just to double check, but I'm sure they got her figured out. So down in here, right, what's the best way? Right there. That's where the fuel line connects. The red one, not the black one. So, we think we got her. We think we got her. But, I have some more bad news. That guy does DOT inspections for semis routinely. That's what he works on, semis. And he's walking around the combine and he goes, guys, look at your rim. See it? See it? See it? See it? Not good. Not good at all. So we got to figure out what we're going to do here. I don't know if... I think the welder guy came and looked at it. It's been highly recommended, I think, by a couple other farmers that I talked to go with a new rim. But maybe the welder feels comfortable. Obviously he didn't, though. His pickup was here. He left. It's not fixed. Generally he would have just welded it if he felt comfortable. There's always something, huh? I've seen the pictures when this goes. They'll crack off. The tire will stay here. The machine will fall. The tire will push up. It rips all these side panels off. You run the risk of damaging all these pumps, all the unload augers. If you were unloading on the go, the unload auger, you'd probably come crashing down on the grain cart. You'd snap the elbow of the auger. You'd probably bend the auger. In all honesty, then you'd probably tweak the head because you'd have the bean head on the ground. In all honesty, I'm not exaggerating. Or you could fall, you could have it go while you're turning in a busy intersection going to the next field. Have to get a flatbed semi to yank you out of the road. I'm not even exaggerating. There's a high likelihood you would total the machine out if it were to go. When it rains, it pours. So, boss man, he's probably the most relaxed farmer you'll ever meet. He's just taking it in stride. And he's always very relaxed when stuff like this happens, which I don't know that I would be if it was my machine. But one thing fixed, another thing issues. So stay tuned on, it's Sunday, so what happened over the weekend. So we noticed it Friday night right before dark. So now we have to figure it out Monday morning. I might be running for a rim. I don't care where it is. I'm going to have my flatbed and I'm going to run after it tomorrow if they can't get it here at somewhere close. I'm running after it. And hopefully a tire outfit can come and switch it out in the afternoon or Tuesday, because we can't afford to miss this whole week because they're talking snow Friday, which is just deep breath. So there you go, quick update on the combine. She's fuel issues worked out, and now another issue arises. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and we'll check you guys later.